Hey everybody, Tony D. Little Joan is sleeping her little bed. And this is a screenwriter's rant on Avarice. Man, it was tough to find a second movie tonight. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 9. Yeah, Avarice. So, man, just movie after movie, I'm just like, bleh, bleh, bleh. These are terrible trailers. And then finally, something interesting. Because listen to this synopsis. An archery champion must rescue her kidnapped husband and daughter from a team of mercenaries. Yeah, yeah. See, this is interesting to me because at least it's different. So she is an archery champion, and her husband, I think, works in IT, and they're having marital problems, so they decide to go away on vacation because that solves everything in a marriage. If you've ever been on vacation and been married, I'm sure you're laughing. So they go on vacation to try to, I don't know, straighten out their problems, and some evil mercenaries show up, and they take everybody hostage, not just the husband and the daughter. It's just that the mother, because she's an archery champion, can escape. She has skills. So she's got to rescue the daughter from the guy holding them hostage in the house, and he's like a creepy guy with a knife, and she has to kill him. And then she has to go after her husband using only her bow and arrows, which of course her husband in the beginning of the movie is like, oh, well, you're bringing the bow. Ah, that stupid bow. She is killing everybody with the bow. Now, I think it's Australian because it sounds like she's Australian. I'm going to guess it's an Australian movie. And they just wrote I think they wrote the movie around an archery champion. I'm guessing she's a real archery champion, and maybe they're trying to make a go of a movie career here. I don't know if you wanted to go this serious with it. See, here she is, shooting everybody with the bow. And there's a bunch of clips of her, like, killing the mercenaries, like a mercenary with a gun, like, oh, where is she? Where is he? She's got a bow. They have guns, but she's going to win because she has a bow. Because she's an archery champion, and it's called Avarice. I think that's not a great title for this movie. What can we call it? It's got to be a better title than Avarice. I mean, I get that title. It's supposed to be like, well, they're greedy, and that's why the bad guys are greedy. I got to get an archery thing. I guess because Avengers was popular enough, they can try to sell this movie. You know, because of Hawkeye. There's one of the mercenaries. Yeah, here she is with a bow. So, what would we call this? Like, right on target, something like that, right? Something sort of archery related. You know, arrow through the heart. So, the reason I like this premise is because the screenwriter has to think of new and interesting ways to use archery in order to solve problems, right? So she's got to be the most amazing archery shot of all time. So she can't just kill the guys, although I'm sure she kills a bunch of guys with the bow. But she's also got to use the arrows to hit like objects and buttons and to make explosions and whatnot. And there's actually a scene in the lead villain is a woman because she's a woman, and that's somehow fair in Hollywood. Because if she's a woman, well, then their lead has to, because they're going to get into a big fight at the end, and it would be so unfair if one of them was a man. So she actually says something like, watch out, she's an archery champion. Like, that's such a big threat, right? Oh, she's an archery champion. You didn't say she was an archery champion. I'm an ex-Navy SEAL, but she's an archery champion. Oh yeah, I used to work for the CIA, but an archery champion, really? Oh God. archery champion. Maybe that's what they should have called the movie, Archery Champion. Since they say it 3 or 4 times just in this trailer. So yes to this movie. I totally want to see this movie. First act, of course, the family is having their problems because you spent so much time on archery. You spend too much time doing archery. Too much time. I'm sorry, but archery is important to me. Well, this family should be important to you too. I'm writing the whole screenplay right now in my head. So they go away because vacations, and then meanwhile they show the bad guys, their whole deal that they have to kidnap this guy to pull off some sort of hack or whatever. I mean, he's a bank president or something. And then, of course, their computer setup couldn't be more cool visually, with like numbers ticking up or ticking down. Like it'll always be a countdown clock ticking down and a money counter clock ticking up. Okay, download the money. And then like it starts from 0, it goes all the way up to like millions. And for some reason, she's asking for $10 million, which is like, if you're doing it by computer, I mean, why not just ask for $100 million? Why not ask for $1 billion? I mean, you're doing it by computer. Just empty the bank account out, whatever you're robbing. Like, you're only stealing 10 million because, well, they won't notice 10 million right away. I'll be in Switzerland by the time they notice $10 million missing. Like, it should be $1 billion, I think, right? Am I wrong on that? I 100 million minimum. 100 million. Like, 10 million smacks of like that Austin Powers bit when Dr. Evil asked for too little money for his ransom because he's been frozen for so many years and he only asked for like $100,000 or some ridiculously low amount of money because he got frozen in the 60s. So I think it should have been 100 million or 50 million at minimum. 50, I think. But $10 million, I mean, like, why are you even going to bother? It's a movie. I mean, you're making the archery champion the hero here. I think you could go for $1 billion if you want. Anyhow, so then, of course, they hold the wife and daughter hostage while the husband is doing all this work, and then she gets away, starts killing guys, gets to her bow, and then has to go after the big dog to save her husband at the end, which she does, using arrows. And then at the end they reconcile because they've been brought closer together as a family because they were all, kidnapped and nearly murdered. And then, of course, this opens the door to a franchise, Avarice 2, where the older sister of the first villain's character wants to get revenge and kidnaps. I think this, the sequel, they'll kidnap her and put her on an island, and then, I don't know, bury her husband and daughter alive, and if she doesn't get to them in time, they'll suffocate. And then she has to fight her way through a series of traps, and then, which she does, and she, instead of having her bow this time, she has to make a bow. That'll be the big change. And then, of course, at the end of the movie, the same thing happens. And then Avarice 3, the final Avarice, I don't know. You'd have to really kick it up then. I don't know. But I laughed until I got a stitch when I read this synopsis. An archery champion must rescue her kidnapped husband and daughter from a team of mercenaries. I mean, you gotta admire the direct pitch. So many of like the other movie I looked at tonight, the pitch was so nothing. There was no pitch. Like, this makes me want to see the movie. I'm excited to see this movie. Not because I think it's good. I think it'll be terrible. But because it'll at least be fun to see people try to make this movie work. Does that sound weird? Have I watched too many movies? Probably. And that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. We're doing a live show tomorrow, live stream at 2. Oh man, I really want to talk about this movie. I hope I could see it before then, but probably not. I don't even know where it's playing. This is definitely going right to video. This is definitely like on Prime or something. This got to be streaming, right? Got to be. I bet this is like a famous archery champion in Australia or something. I'm betting on that. That they decided that she's pretty cute, right? So cute enough to be an actress. She's already an archery champion. Let's use that. I admire the pitch, even though I don't think the movie will be that good. I think it'll be hilarious when she kills all these big actors with guns. Like, where is she? Where? All right, that's it. We'll see you tomorrow.